Greetings from Tokyo. This is Daisuke Beppu, and I hope you're doing well today. I'd like to give you a brief update and also just touch base with you and just to see how you're doing. I am unwinding after a very busy couple of weeks, and so I just finished watching this really lovely film. It's called From Russia with Love, and it stars this gentleman here who's depicted in this artist's rendition. His name is Sean Connery. This particular release by the Criterion Collection is very special because this is the CAV release, and so it has a very peculiar commentary. And so I just happened to watch this film with the commentary, and so it was I've seen it many times and I've heard the commentary a number of times also, but it's nice to visit every now and again, especially for those of you who, like myself, are James Bond film fans. Anyway, so From Russia with Love. Another example of why the Criterion Collection Laserdiscs are really great. I also received a couple of really nice things in the mail. So I received this lovely Blu-ray, which is Sisters, and I've received this, which is The Princess Bride. Now, with respect to The Princess Bride, I haven't opened this yet, but I plan to do so very soon. And I don't know if you're interested. If not, I apologize. But what I usually do, if it's applicable, is that I will try to watch a reissue Criterion Collection title while comparing it to any previous release that was made by the Criterion Collection. So for example, The Princess Bride, as some of you may know, was released as Criterion Collection Laserdiscs, and so I think it was actually released in 3 separate Laserdiscs by the Criterion Collection. And I'll probably compare this new Blu-ray reissue with the perhaps most pertinent of those 3 releases on Criterion Laserdisc, which is spine number 320, for those of you who are keeping count. So it's really nice to be able to compare and contrast the 2 releases. I usually like to do that whenever there is a new release that has a corresponding earlier issue or Laserdisc or the like, so I'll tend to do that. So for The Princess Bride, I'll be very happily engaging with the materials here, while at the same time trying to refer back to this and to see the exact differences that occur. The same is true for Sisters. So here is the new Blu-ray, and here is the old DVD. So this is spine number 89. So it's very old school. This is one of the first Criterion DVDs I ever got, actually. And so it'll be nice to compare the 2 and to see what the differences are. I haven't opened this yet, but for some of you who know this old DVD from Criterion, you know it has that throbbing heartbeat as part of its menu. So I really like that. So I'm not sure what the menus have in store on this new Blu-ray reissue, but I really am quite fond of the old DVD release. So it'll be nice to explore this film again and trying to compare and contrast the 2 releases. I'd also like to say that even up to now, I have been very fortunate to be continually receiving comments from many of you out there about your recent acquisitions and lists, and from there many great conversations have taken place. So I really want to thank you so much for that, and I'm getting so inspired to watch all these films. It's becoming quite overwhelming, actually, in a very positive way, I should say. So please, if you have any more acquisition stories, or if you want to share with me anything that you have purchased, please let me know, and I'm so happy to look those over, and hopefully we can have a further discussion about them. I guess I was reminded of a few more possibilities as far as recommendations are concerned in the Criterion collections. So if you are interested, These are, again, just a small sample of the wide array of great films that are available in the Criterion collection. So if you're so inclined, I would probably want to suggest some of these. So the first one is this one, which is Victor Erice's El Sur. This is a very recent release. This is a Blu-ray, and I've spoken about this on a number of occasions on this YouTube channel, but I really want to emphasize here how emotionally powerful and profound and quite stirring, emotionally speaking, this film is. It's not so long, and so it's not like one of these super long epics, but it's a real intimate portrait of a father-daughter relationship, and it's so happy and sad and touching and everything in between. And that's why cinema can be so alive in all our hearts. You know, this is an example of that, a prime example. So El Sur. Next one is this one. Now, I've mentioned the Chantal Akerman's Eclipse set before, but there's this film, which is perhaps her most famous film or most iconic film. It is certainly one of the most important films, critically speaking, and so I don't think you'd be I don't think it'd be any kind of fail or anything if you were to get this. On the contrary, this would be a crowning jewel, I think, in anyone's collection, which is Jean Dillman, 23 Quai de Commerce, 1080 Bruxelles. So this is a classic film. It is one of the greatest films in history, and for many reasons, and for many straightforward reasons, and for many more subtler reasons, and there are many treats and tricks and surprises in this film. It's just waiting to be discovered and rediscovered and then rediscovered. It is such a fantastic film. For your consideration, Jean Dillman, 23 Quai de Commerce, 1080 Bruxelles. Next is this one, Errol Morse. Now, I haven't mentioned Errol Morse in this channel before, but he is a very prominent and important figure in American cinema, and in particular documentary film. And this is an example of a documentary that has the power to, at least, change the world. And it does so in an incredibly maybe deceptively simple way, but it is a true both enlightening and frightening at the same time. This is The Thin Blue Line, Errol Morse's classic documentary film. Last, I have to mention another great Eclipse set, which is Agnes Varda in California. This is just an unforgettable set. This is Eclipse series number 43, and again, I keep saying this, but Eclipse, these sets, I think, are so educational and enlightening and filled with life and vitality and truth, real human truth. And this set in particular is filled with so many truths and just so many insights that it's a marvel that it is here. And I'm so fortunate to be able to say that I own this and I've seen these films. And I would urge anyone out there who has yet to experience these films to please at least consider getting this. Again, it's Eclipse, so this is a DVD only set, so perhaps for some of you out there it might not be an option, but again, if you are considering it, please take this into consideration, because it is so worth it. I promise you, it is so worth it. Agnes Varda in California. Okay, my friends, let me just end it there. It's Friday night now, so I think I'm just going to sit back and just take it easy for a bit. I have a few hours now. My family is now asleep in the other room, so before I go and join them, I think I'll probably watch a film. So I don't know, what should I watch? Let's see. Oh gosh, there are so many films to choose from. Okay, so I think I've chosen the film I'm going to watch after I've done making this video. So I've seen this film many times, but I am just so much in awe of this film. It is one of those, it's so essential to the life of cinema and the history of cinema. It's a marvel, and I can't wait to discuss this film when it comes up in my discussion of each of the Criterion Collection titles. But it's this one, Andrei Rublev, Tarkovsky. My goodness, this has a lot of wonderful moments. It has a lot of challenging moments and a lot of moments of horror and shock. But at the same time, it is a film that is the embodiment of what might be called miraculous. So I will watch this. I've already seen this particular release once through already, and that includes both versions of the film, but I will have to watch it again and rewatch it again many times. So this will be my second time now going through it, so I look forward to it. And indeed, this might be another recommendation for those of you who are still thinking about getting some films in the Criterion Collection, maybe through Barnes & Noble. Let me say also that there are other films in the Criterion Collection directed by Andrei Tarkovsky. So there's this one, Ivan's Childhood. Then there's this great classic, Solaris. And another great classic, Stalker. It's like Andrei Tarkovsky's entire canon is nothing but masterpieces. It's amazing. And also for those of you who are Laserdisc enthusiasts, there is of course this film, which is Nostalgia. But then of course there is also Andrei Rublev. So if you have any questions or comments about anything I've talked about here, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Or if you have any more stories you'd like to share with me regarding your acquisitions, I'd also love to hear those stories. I love to become inspired by you in those stories. It's really wonderful. Okay, so with that in mind, my friends, let me leave you, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Cheers.